today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to steal network traffic using Ettercap and Wireshark. To be clear, I'm not talking about capturing my own traffic. I'm talking about capturing traffic from other computers, so a real man-in-the-middle attack. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get going. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you my favorite attack when conducting an internal penetration testing for a customer. A lot of pen testers like to start off by scanning the network to see what systems are actually on that network. I prefer to listen to the network traffic and let the users point me to relevant networks and systems. In addition, while I'm listening, hopefully I'm collecting usernames and passwords. To kick things off, let's begin a brief overview of what Ettercap and Wireshark are and how they can benefit your network pen test. So Ettercap is a versatile network security tool that can be used for various purposes, including man-in-the-middle attacks, network sniffing, and then also protocol dissection. On the other hand, Wireshark is a powerful packet analyzer that can allow you to capture and then scrutinize the data that's also traveling across the network. But together, these tools provide a comprehensive view of network activities. Even though we're going to be performing a man-in-the-middle attack, I personally actually consider this part of the recon phase. Some people will argue with that view because what I actually am doing, in fact, is attacking the routing tables for all systems within my routing domain. But in my opinion, this is simply just an aggressive method of collecting data during the reconnaissance phase. So I'm going to jump to the fun part right away, and I'm going to show you an actual attack against a victim. It's also going to be me, but on a different machine. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a man-in-the-middle attack, and we're going to capture a username and password. So in this network, I have the Chioptrix level 3 server up and running. I also have a clone of Kali, just for the purposes of imitating an employee on the network, and we're going to just call that our victim box. Okay, so let me show you how I start my man-in-the-middle attack using both Ettercap and Wireshark. And I'm going to use the ETH0 network connector. So I'll just double click there, or I can just hit this little fin at the top. So I'll just start ETH0. Let it start collecting data. So I'm going to use the graphic interface for Ettercap. You can do it at the command line, and you'll probably want to learn to, especially when you do remote pen testing. But to get it going, I'm going to use sudo Ettercap -G. So we can see that Wireshark is starting to collect some information. You can see it's our DHCP traffic, things like that. So again, it's just broadcast traffic. But with the Ettercap, so we're going to start that. We have it set up to ETH0. We're going to sniff at the startup. And then I'm going to keep it on promiscuous mode. And then I'll just start. All right, so it's running a bunch of scripts that will try to capture traffic along the way. And it's actually creating its own file. It's similar to a PCAP file. But we'll just go over to our victim server next and try to connect to the Chioptrix. If we open up a browser on our victim box and navigate to the Chioptrix server, we can try to log into the website and pass it some bogus username and password credentials. So let's go to login. We got username. I'll just do administrator. Too many A's. And then for password, I'm just going to do something. All right, very, very secure password. So I'll try to do login, and I'll get an incorrect username and password. But let's go back to the Kali box and take a look at what Ettercap has captured. So we can see here that Ettercap caught and recognized that we had a username and password field entered. It collected that information and then output it right here. I'm going to stop the Wireshark and take a look at the results from there. So in order to find a packet, I just click Edit, Find Packet. Make sure I change the packet to packet details and make sure that it's set to string. and then I'll type in username. And we can see here that there is a form item called username, and it is administrator. Form item password equals QWERTY12345, my very secure password. All right, so Ettercap and Wireshark both found the username and password, but Ettercap brought it to our attention. So in less than a minute, we have successfully exploited a weakness in our network and then captured credentials that were traveling across that network. Honestly though, this is not really a common occurrence, but it is something that is very happy when it happens. So now that we got the wow factor out of the way, we actually did an exploit and it only took, what, 30 seconds? Let me show you what we typically use Ettercap for along with Wireshark. So as I mentioned, Wireshark can be and should be used for passive information gathering when you first start an internal penetration test. And you can see here there's a whole bunch of data that it was collected over time, but how do you narrow that down? So if you go to statistics and then you go to endpoints and you click on IPv4, that gives you a list of IP addresses that communicate either internally out or externally in. Now that you have all this information, you can start to understand better what the network configuration is for your customer's internal network. Once we've captured enough traffic to our satisfaction, we can begin analyzing packets. It's better if we run both Ettercap and Wireshark at the same time. That way we can capture all the network traffic going through Ettercap and then into Wireshark. And then we can apply filters in Wireshark and focus on specific protocols or hosts. The trick to all of this is that systems that employees visit are usually high-value targets from a pen testing perspective, and that allows us to expand our understanding of what the internal network looks like without having to guess, especially if the customer doesn't give us any information about their internal network to begin with. Now, one crucial note before we wrap things up, it's extremely imperative to only use these tools responsibly and ethically. So make sure you always have permission from the customer to perform this kind of attack, a layer 2 attack, and also adhere to any ethical and legal guidelines that you have to follow. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure that you give a thumbs up and please subscribe. So also make sure to join our Discord server where we talk about everything pen test related. And until next time, thanks for joining and happy hacking.